Here we are on the New Zealand Yen 15 minute, and we have a small little wedge pattern that has been formed. And you can see here what we did. This has actually put in a new high. So here is a new high, and if we zoom in, you can actually see the movement inside of the wedge pattern. And what we have here is a nice, lovely little low test candle here. And so actually I can get my stops just underneath it there. And so then in terms of risk, it's looking like this. I'm actually just going to give it one extra pip extra because it's only 11 pips of risk. And then in terms of reward, we're going to be looking at the 127 minus a couple of pips. And in terms of structure, looking left, if we put that 127 on, we can see that we're not at any real major structure level here. Just wait for this 60-minute chart to load. And you can actually see that we do potentially have room to come up higher. One thing I want to be wary of is, looks like there is a cipher pattern here. Yeah, we have a cipher pattern completing up there, so that's where my targets are on this particular trade, and we'll come back and see whether it's a winner or a losing pattern. And we're back. Just a little update. The time is almost 7:20 in the morning, and I can see that we have now gone into profit and we have been consolidating sideways. Now this sometimes does happen with this particular type of pattern. These breakout patterns can form other patterns, so it's not uncommon for a wedge to turn into a triangle, or for a triangle to be interpreted as a wedge, or even a high and tight flag. And if we just do this, what we now have is a high and tight flag that is channeling quite nicely with multiple touches now either side. There, here, there as well. And so absolutely nothing needs to be done. This happens. We have our stops still in the most appropriate place. This is where my stop would be if it was a high and tight flag, and so we just simply have to leave the trade and just understand that we haven't actually now broken out of this channel, we haven't made a new high, and we just have to wait. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do, and we'll come back to the video and hopefully see the outcome. And we're back on the New Zealand Yen. There is pound news out, and I thought I'll record this. I am actually in another trade as well, but unfortunately I've only got one Camtasia and both of them are rallying to target. So this trade, we can see that we came down for another test here of the trend line. We obviously had our wedge pattern here, which did turn into a high and tight flag for me, and we came down for this other test. And at this point, this is where usually many months ago I would have been worried, I would have been concerned, I would have been thinking, oh no, we're coming back down to test the lows of the structure level here. But by analysing the market and understanding that sometimes these patterns do turn into other similar patterns, and please remember that a wedge, a triangle, a flag and a high and tight flag just like this one, that they're all very similar patterns. They're all consolidation patterns before expansion. And here you see the expansion, here you see the consolidation. The consolidation turns into bigger consolidation in terms of the high and tight flag, and that ultimately leads to expansion. And I'm hoping that that's what we're getting here with all these bullish candles. With this, we're going to break through here and rally up and hit targets. So didn't concern me. I was obviously watching this to see if we come down and actually hold this level, and as you can see, we simply just came down, we gave it another test, and right now all we're doing is the opposite. We're now coming back up to retest this zone up here. Now I don't know if this will be the time that we actually break through this structure level, or whether it's going to hold and we're going to reverse and retest the channel again. All I know is that this is a almost a 3-to-1 risk to reward. I had a very good entry reason. The pattern has around a 62% chance of winning on this particular currency pair. And if you haven't guessed yet, I am trying to buy time for this thing to rally up and hit targets. With the news that's out, I was hoping we may just get a very big burst, a big candle up there to spike up and hit targets. That may not happen. I do try to record these trades hitting. I think it's always nice to actually see it physically hit your target. Okay, I'm going to pause the video so it's not too long, and we'll come back once we're a little closer to targets. Hopefully a little closer. And we're back. The time is 1:35. We had dollar news that came out 5 minutes ago, and we're seeing a spike now above the highs. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to push a little bit higher up and catch this one, this trade hitting. That if this goes on and hits, that'll be 2 within 10 minutes, because I've just had the Aussie dollar CAD hit for 18 pips. We seem to be pushing up a little bit more now, 4 pips from targets. Come on, push up a few more. We seem to be stuck. Come on, 4 more pips, 2 more, and I can actually move my stop a little bit closer to my break-even line. There we go, there's an extra pip, 29 up, 30 up. Just going to reduce the risk now on this. 31, 1 pip from targets. I've front run this order as well by 2 pips, just before 2 pips before the 127 extension. And there we go, we spiked through it. So a lovely winning trade there for 32 on the New Zealand yen and 18 on the Aussie dollar CAD.